Tervetuloa Maailmankuvia-sarjaan. Olen Ingvar Villidon kanssa käymässä keskustelua Lilleorusta ja hänen uudesta kirjoittamasta Practical Consciousness-kirjasta. Joten tämä seuraava keskustelu tullaan käymään englannin kielellä, mutta seuratkaa tarkoin. Well, it's nice to meet you again, and today we are talking about Lilleoru, how it began, and also we are finishing a conversation with about your new book.
Thank you for coming. Let's begin.
Yes. So, now we are in Lilleoru, and like you did tell before that when you was a businessman, you have to make a decision what to do. And today we are seeing what kind of choice you made. We are in Lilleoru. So, how everything began?
It begins from 1990, somewhere there, because I start to search a place for my family, because we lived in an apartment near this place here, and it wasn't so comfort there, you know. I don't know why, but Estonians always like to live, or most of them like to live with nature, right? And that was the reason why I started to search a place to build a house for my family. It wasn't so simple because that was a time where Estonia became independent and lands becomes given back to the owners and everything. Every people kept that land. That it was quite difficult to find something, but I had one lady. She worked with insurance. She always visiting our family and we're paying insurances and other. And she knows everyone around this area here. And finally, she said to me, "Okay, I'm giving to you one piece of land." But she had 70.5 hectares returned land. And she said to me, you know, we can make one cut here. It's historical cut, which happened after 1943 or 4, something like that. And it was 15-hectare piece, right? Mm-hmm. And it was given to me because I worked with to her here to make some changes here with her land, and I helped with some government things and etc. And it was a couple of years long process. So finally, I had this land. Right? It was destroyed land because before this place had forest, but it was cut away and sold to some company, and with big tractors, all land, and the roots was pulled to the massive mountains, you know, and it was really destroyed land. So, and then I came here and I started to look what I can do here and starting my home project. It was wooden, very nice. I never built it actually. It is still somewhere in my documents, like a very nice, how I say, just project, right?
Yeah. How old you were when you started this process?
I was maybe 26, maybe 27, maybe somewhere there. Yeah, because we had one child already, I think, I remember, or maybe 2. Yeah. I don't remember those things. Okay. Not so clear like fathers, right, as usual. Yeah, and then I start to look some materials to build it, because wood and other things, you know, wasn't so simple at that time to receive some building materials, and start to collect them slowly. But at that time I had already students, you know. But that story with students and this land is connected very, very deeply, actually, and practically. I had that Raja Buddhi Yoga period. It was many years long, and I had of maybe not hundreds, maybe thousands people was there, students. But in one day, I couldn't answer any more today's questions. And I said, honestly, sorry guys, I need to stop this process because I don't have answers to your questions. And it was just finished, that's it. I don't teach anymore the Raja Buddhi period. But I said, if some of you are interested, we can meet here in Lilleoru place. It's historical name actually. And I start to here to clean this area and whatever. And approximately 15, 20 people came for the weekend. And they helped to make some cleanings and to make some nice things here with land. Yeah, it was like, it was beginning actually. We don't have nothing here, you know, it was like using some wooden posts, and someone brought some from topography, or I don't know how that in English. We're printing those books. Yeah. Today is modern printing, but before it was like they used some kind of metal plates, right? And someone brought those used metal plates, and we had some kind of small shelter and sitting there with rain and heavy cold, you know, and doing some things in the forest, and it was very physical actually, right? And then practicing, we practicing different practices, and by time it's become more clean, this place, year by year, more people coming, and we had different retreats. Some of them was in this place with tents and other things, you know, we're making food here in this shelter, you know, we had gas and some people making food for everyone. It was like, it wasn't like hippie period, it was like more like period of, I don't know how that in English, but in Estonia it's nagu talgud.
Yeah, I understand. Finnish word talkoot.
So those talkoot was done here, right? And then we had some retreats far from this place in a very nice natural area with lakes and like this. And we had many years some retreats there. But then in one day we just asked, so guys, let's make our house here, first one. And we actually started to do it. And this is this yellow house, maybe you know, somewhere there.
Oh yeah, other side of Lille Park.
Yeah, right. It was first actually what we making by ourselves here, from zero, from scratch. No one knows how to build house, and all that material which one was collected by me. It's there, you know, yeah. And first year we're just making frame, but next year we start to build it more and more, and more like house, and many things happens with that house, you know. It wasn't so stable, you know. It just was like this sometimes, you know. We're using tractor, we pull it back, and we go straight again. We're fixing it, and many things happens. Then we're working with someone here to making money for roof, for example, because we don't have any money at the time. So how much you can we're collecting it, how much it was possible for everyone. And yeah, slowly it came, and water well and other things. And but I never felt it belongs to me, because it was land belongs to me, right? But not those things which was done here by students. And so that was the development process. One house came, then second came, because our needs was for more bigger space, and because students came more and more, and we're making cellar,
Yeah.
and other things. It was a lot of work here. And it was quite physical, tough period. I was always with others there, not like boss somewhere. We're working with shovels, and at that time it was good time. But I still have some students from that time, and they remember those times with tears, maybe sometime, right? And new students, they don't know nothing about those difficulties. Yeah, and then one day, some guy went to our place with some Indian stuff. Before it wasn't nothing from what can be connected to the India. It was just a raw place, right? And he came here because a couple of our students was in the Netherlands, and they staying in some ashram there because it was cheaper. And they saw some pictures to the local people there. And after 1 year, that pujari, or pujari is means one guy who can make pujas in Indian style, came here with harmony, that small harmony with music. Then he brought Babaji picture, and he introduced Herakan Babaji tradition. He makes a yagya or fire ceremony here. He plays and sing arti here, and like I said, he brought Babaji picture and told many stories about Babaji and etc. And one interesting thing happened in this moment, in this process there. It was strange for us because Estonians in the forest, some Indian guy coming here. Actually, he's not Indian, he was white guy, but with Indian stuff. All of us, maybe 30 people, sitting on the second floor in the yellow house, and he started to sing arti. Arti is Indian style to serve God. Like in churches, we have different songs and other things, but
Kirtans.
It's not kirtan.
Okay.
It's more like more deeper, a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he started to play, but I saw he couldn't do that because strange surroundings, strange people, and it was difficult to start to him. Then they pushed him a little bit with energy. At that time, I know because I discovered my quality. I can provide energies in a very simple way, right? And then I pushed a little bit with him with energy, and surprisingly, he started to cry.
Okay.
I was a little bit shocked because it was so unusual. He actually 2 meters tall guy, and what the hell happened, But after that, I asked him what actually happened. And he said he felt Babaji's presence. But that Babaji, Herakan Babaji, he was passed away at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just making connections between his experience and what was done by me, and I understood that Herakan Babaji was always with me, even before I become known about him something. And that was a simple reason why we using even today arti and yagya or fire ceremony. And then we have a small temple here with old Herakan Babaji Murti. He was Siddha. Yeah. And yeah, that's the reason how that Indian stuff came to our country. Thanks God, I can say today, Indian stuff came here. Why? Because India have a lot of people who believe to the God and other aspects of it, but they don't actually know deep things or reality behind it. Not so much people know it. But for me, it was incredible discovery because they kept knowledge, but I have ability to understand that, not meaning, but that source of this knowledge. And for me, it was like a transformative process from these knowledges to transform it back to the practical life, practical action. It was like a restoring of forgotten knowledge, or theory goes back to the practical side. So, and we start, of course, here to learn arti and fire ceremony and other things, but we don't have to make fire ceremony here, because for this process you need permission. Because fire ceremony is not just you making fire. It was created on Treta Yuga by highly developed people for regular people, not regular, but for educated people, to keep a connection between people and God through fire ceremony when times become darker and darker. Today we in Kali Yuga, which one is first and darkest time, right? But Treta Yuga was quite white or bright, right? So, and then we went to India to ask permission. Yeah. I received permission, but I had one condition. This land cannot be anymore a personal land. It needs to be public. And that was the reason why we are changing belonging of that property to the non-profit organization.
Yes.
Yeah, it means I don't have house, I don't have land anymore. It was gone. Yeah, but it wasn't so negative experience. It was just okay. So, and then we start to, of course, create more people coming. Karma yoga is very important here. Karma yoga means it's volunteer work.
Yes.
You're doing something for others, not for self, but for others. It's this process is important because we always doing things for ourselves, and all those things are selfish things. But learn universality, or how to be universal, to do things to the others without any kind of results for ego or true self. This way goes always to the God, how actually God giving to us all resources and never asking something. Yeah, it's one yogic way, right? And it's good way to dissolve ego or egoistic attitude, attitude of owners. We have something, right? So, and then more people coming every year. Every year we're building one house, second house. Then some students decide we like to live here. We have one private house there in ashram area, and they decide by themselves. We can we sell our some properties or whatever,
yeah.
Maybe away, and we're collecting money and we're making a house for us, for I don't know how many it was, maybe 10 people, 15 people, something like that. And I said, okay, if you like, this is your wish, and you're sure, because it's huge changes in your life, right? If you're looking to the future, if you agree with it, just do it. Yeah. And today we have that house here, and people live there. Some of them are left, some not, from old time. And that was quite incredible thing here and decision for them. But what is interesting, in Estonia we have some kind of rumors, you know. Rumors are this kind of Ingvar taking away money from people and building up those houses or whatever. He become owner of those things. It's absolutely wrong, because I don't have own nothing here. Everything become or belongs to the non-profit organization.
Also, those houses, what those volunteers has built to themselves, are they also belonging to non-profit organizations?
Yes, it belongs to the non-profit organization, but they have permission to use those houses till their life ends. That's our agreement.
Yes, and it goes also by the next generations that their kids can live as well.
I think so, but I think they don't like to live here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and because you need to know where you are and what you are doing here, right? Because we have some conditions here. Students cannot do everything what they like here, right? So, and what's next? Next, maybe a Flower of Life. Yeah. Of course, we're building that small temple for Herek and old Babaji, because you know that Babajis and Babajis, people are, how I say, they're confused sometimes. Which one Babaji is which one Babaji? Because that Pujari came from new Herek and Babaji lineage. There was a lot of Western people, and that guy, that Babaji said, he is incarnation of old Herek and Babaji. But some people, for example, Pilot Baba and some, no, I don't even remember which gurus are here, visited our place and asked them about Babajis, you know. But Pilot Baba said that old Herek and Babaji is the real Kriya Babaji, because he was many years with him in Himalaya and meditating, and he said, I know him very well. But now third Kriya Babaji came on the picture, you know, with Babaji Kriya Yoga through Marshal Govind and Sachitananda. And this triangle of three Babajis, and all of them are Kriya Babajis, and people don't know which one is real one, which one not. But for me, it's no matter, you know, who is who, because that knowledge, which one they're providing, is important. So, and we're making actually that fireplace, 2 fireplaces. One is like summer fireplace, and we have in the forest next one's winter fireplace. And by practices, all those places become holy by itself, because by those decades we had a lot of prayers there, and miracles with natural forces which came out and influencing, you know. That's that mystical part of spiritual practices with nature, if you know how to do those technologies, how to use them. Then we have one stone circle there. That's independent, incredible story. When I came to this place here first time, I saw something. Something light is there, you know, on earth. Looks strange, because I discovered I have clairvoyance too, you know.
Are you talking about that mini version of Stonehenge in a flower park?
Right,
yes.
Right, yeah. And by time I'm looking, this just become higher and higher and higher and higher, and finally it's become like light pillar. And in India they call them Jyotirlinga. Jyotir means light, and linga means it's post, right? And Jyotirlinga is connected to some stories about Shiva and Brahma and Vishnu. You know, Brahma and Vishnu, they discussed who is longer or first God. Then light pillar appears and Shiva came out and asked, who is the first? Look, can you see that end and beginning of this light? Brahma goes to one direction, Vishnu to the second, and Brahma and Vishnu, they couldn't find that beginning and end, but Brahma, or creator, said lies to the Vishnu. He found that, and actually not. That was the reason why Brahma had 5 heads before. Now we have only 4 heads. One was taken away because lie, you know. And in India they don't serve Brahma actually. So, and that's light pillar story, right? It's connected to the Shiva, always to the Shiva. We're just putting some stones picking up through time, and we're just putting around it to mark it down. But by time, we're creating many practices with this energy, and still people using who know what we can do there. Next thing was Native American Indians came here. Maybe it was next. Maybe I don't remember exactly. In 1999, maybe they came here. They putting some tipi here. We're going through day's teachings, tipi ceremony, sweat lodges, and tipi was there in the Flower of Life many years. And Rupert Encinas, he was visiting this place 21 years already. Every year he coming, making his ceremony, and he helping people in this way. Then we starting Flower of Life. It was an interesting process again. One student lady said, you know, this is an interesting point here on the earth. It's let's mark it down. We marked it down. It was forgotten for many years. But then our architect Ann Padrik said, you know, I have here a couple of things, you know, and that Flower of Life shape, and it would be interesting if we can create it here, you know. I'm looking a little bit at that shape and the geometry behind it. It's actually mirroring very nicely reality, or what happens in the micro and micro level. And they said, okay, let's start, let's do it. But let's go to that place here. I showed to you that center of it. And that center was marked down by that student, right? And he just started to calculate all those angles and other things, because very geometrical, right? And what was interesting, from this point, geometry touching all those previously established the temple, for example, and yagya ceremony place, and light pillar, everything was matched geometrically from this point. It was some kind of miracle. And of course, we're making that Flower of Life. It's reshaped today. The basic shape is same, but we're changing some plants there and covering with stones, because we have new temple, Ishvara temple there, or temple where real God exists. It's that God is there, not from mind, right? Not from church. It's real one, and of course, I used with students some Siddha knowledge how to do it. Yeah, it's yeah. So and. Slowly, new temples coming to our area. We have 9 planets temple, because Siddha's calculating a long time ago how actually our planets influencing through gravity, life in Earth, how it's actually can be influenced, and how people can make changes here to to avoid some kind of influences. That astrology in India, in yoga knowledge, Siddha knowledge, was science, not believing. It was mathematically and geometrically calculated. And that's the reason why we're making 9 planets temples here around our area. That consciousness of planets are here. It means it's become very personal. People going, they're asking, they're praying, praying for better life, maybe to become free from some sicknesses and etc. Or to solve some issues, problems in this life and whatever kind of things. And they are quite famous, popular people using a lot of, sometimes they're talking about these experiences there. They have a lot of different experiences. So
Visions,
yeah,
inner visions, example.
yes. For example, sometimes people have very difficult period on their life, and whatever kind of things they try to do, it doesn't work. It's still hard. And we know every person have some kind of hardcore periods of their life, and you have only one chance to go over them. Don't drink. That's not your chance, right? This is discipline. Discipline. Those periods teach to us discipline, how to be disciplined. And after that period, if you're passing it, you have like free water, you know. Some good things start to come to your life like flow. So, and if, for example, people visiting, is it Saturn? Saturn, I think so, was that who making some obstacles and asking what is the problem with my life. And Saturn just, not by voice, of course, because we have murtis there or statues, but they don't talk. It's coming by knowledge. You start to know. They're talking about some obstacles. Why this one, or this one, right? Or what you need to do to go over those hard times. And this, or about health, for example. You're going to the, we have actually a system here. Sun is like main because our solar system have center, in the center sun, and all planets spinning around it, right? And consciousness of sun is here too. Can you imagine? It's the consciousness of sun is here. For me, it looks very common, but your audience, what the hell are you talking?
In some level, I can imagine that.
Yeah, you can imagine, but this is absolutely spiritual, but very practical, objective too, right? Then you're going to the sun. You pray. Pray means not begging. It means just like equality. For example, I came to you to talk about some things. Are you fine for it, right, or to it? That's what we are doing here. This is the prayer, right? And then sun sometimes immediately giving to you, go to this plant responsible for that, go there, right? Because, you know, if sun is ruler of our system, he knows everyone who belongs here. It's like boss in the company, right? You have your main position there, then you have some kind of people which one are taking other things and they doing with those things, and you just say, okay, you have this problem, go to that guy. It's same here, right?
Yeah.
So, and then some other small temples become graded here. They are almost ready. Ganesha, for example. Ganesha is very famous in India, of course, but like I said before, we don't believe here. We know exist two important parts: knowledge and energy. and Ganesha representing knowledge. That knowledge, what we know and what we don't know yet. This is like a natural principle of knowledge. That's Ganesh. And that's the reason why we're establishing one temple for him. Then we have Muruga temple, then Dakshinamurti temple and other. They are quite specific, but maybe that sort of become too big or too long if I start to explain. But we have one idea more. The temple is almost ready, and statue of it's I don't remember its long name of it, but it's Kubera. Kubera is natural principle, which one are giver, giving to you, and what he can give to you. Money problems become solved, health issues become solved, or physical life health become resolved, because this is that principle of nature which one making those positive things. And of course we have bigger or longer plans here. We have 18 siddhas in Ishvara temple. Yeah, you see they are here too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they are sitting around Shiva, because in Siddha tradition, yogic tradition, the siddhas always looking to the God direction, right? And we have Nandi there. So that's maybe incredible story, because some Indians coming here, Indians, and they're looking, oh, Nandi is turned 180 degrees in opposite, because Nandi in India's temples always looking to the temple, to the gods. Nandi representing ability to concentrate, to keep your tip of awareness on the one place longer time. And he representing yogic quality of concentration. But here it's in opposite side. And they always talking, oh, this is wrong. Nothing is wrong here. This is just different approach of yogic knowledge. That in Ishvara temple we have real God. He's there. He was sorry, but he was agreed to come and to stay and to help people. And Nandi representing God too, because nothing exists without God. Or in deepest knowledge, everything is God. And Nandi representing God himself, who looking to the beginning. This is not Nandi of concentration, but Nandi of God. Yeah, this is a longer story, but to become more clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Then we have, of course, Kali Gate here, and we have lake here with holy water. Yeah, and mountain here. That is a new story about how we're making a lake, you know, and how we dig it in the winter time. It was big mountain, but spring came and mountain just was like become flat, you know. Everything was thrown to the mud. It was huge action to prevent, you know, that the mud floating, you know. But now it's become more dry. Now it's become more like mountain again. Then we have that schoolhouse here. It was built by volunteers. It's a lot of 4 or 5 years. It was under construction. We used some reused materials here. You see some big beams are here from one Estonian theater, which was built for just one year, one session, right? Then we have walls from straw bale here. I think it's biggest straw bale house in Europe. It was sometimes.
It was very amazing when I hear what material you used for those walls.
Yeah, because it's quite popular here. Yeah, because it's very good insulation material. It's you know that the plant which is growing on the sea or nearby sea.
Yeah.
Is it straw, right?
I only know for a Finnish name for it, korte.
Yeah, that kind of material.
Yeah.
Because it's quite good, it doesn't become rotten, you know. It's good with air inside, like bamboo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it keeps warm very well, actually. And
I know that in Saaremaa you use for ceilings that kind of material.
right.
I have actually
And
eaten.
roofs, a lot of roofs are done by
Yes,
same material.
Yes, this is what I meant, roofs.
Yeah, and it was incredible, actually. You know, everything what we have done here, I always worked with things, but in this house here, this schoolhouse, I said, guys, so I'm passing. Now you need to build it. I don't do nothing here. Because all previous things, I was always involved to those things. And it was task for students. And actually it's very good result. I like it. I really like it. And but we build it up. It's become small. Here, this room here can fit 100 people, but it's too small because we have today in non-profit organization almost 200 permanent members. They cannot fit here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have the tent in outside.
Yeah, tent is outside, but in wintertime it's cold.
Yep.
And we have a primary school for children here too. And they're using like a regular government program, but with some additional things from practical consciousness. Yeah. We decide in a very logical way. It would be good if children know some techniques how to become free from automatical reactions, emotional reactions, mental reactions to the things what happens outside or inside. They know how to make themselves normal again. Yeah, because it's good to start from a young age already.
Yes.
Yeah, not from old age.
I already noticed when I came here and I was just before kids started to eat, I was following what they're doing and okay, they had a full of energy and playing and was very loud, but when they hear that bell and then they suddenly all stopped speaking and nothing and just sit there and they really waited until the last song was over from that bell, food bell, and it was interesting to follow how they dealing with that situation.
Right. We have many nice things here. For example, if I add some knowledge, you know, we have that in the forest. Some I don't know how that in English, that you can walk somewhere with ropes and other things, you know, between our wires, between trees, and they can play there, you know. It's like, I don't know how you call that.
Is there something to do with ley lines for this place?
No, I don't think so. It's like more like for climbing, for joy, to be in the forest, something like that. But you can figure out what I think.
Yes.
You can look it up there closer.
So what other plans you have for next years for this place? Now when you have this mountain here, there must be also caves and tunnels and so on. But what you will do in next years?
Next year's we're finishing some things which are not done yet. I think you saw we're making some stone roads, right? And we have some tea house there, for example, with pizza oven, which need to be finished. But big plans, yes, we have some additional projects. With one is some kind of a small spa in the lake area, in the forest, and some small temple maybe on the mountain. But all those things what are created here, they are created for students.
Not for public
No,
use?
only for students.
Yes.
all development of this area here was very organical, only by needs. But slowly we're working more out from Estonia in different foreign countries, in America, in Europe, even in Finland, and people coming here. They start to come here to learn more, to go deeper, because we teach around the globe now some basic things which one can help your life 100% to become better. Can you imagine basic things? For example, same book about what you told here. It's a beginning, but Kriya Yoga is next step, and Ishwarananda Yoga, like a student said, it's next step. This place for deepening, and we expect in the future more people coming here from foreign countries, not only Estonians, but even today some people coming from America, Europe here for gatherings, and it's quite crowded here. We have some retreats here, and we looking a little bit to the future. If people coming more, what we need to establish here to build up to fit these needs here.
You have even more accommodation space there.
Yeah, sure. And we have a big village here, and sometimes people stay there with village people. And
how about this? When you're talking about this organic level for this place, are you planning also do some farming and bio farming and so on?
Yes, we have big garden here. It was by garden before.
Yeah,
I plant some apple trees there, but now a long time, 20 years or 20 plus years, we have people who taking care about it, and we're using only organic ways to grow, and permaculture and other. I even don't know all these things because people working with microorganisms there, and it's pure organic. And we eating that food. Yeah, we don't sell it because it's not so big garden, but we have kitchen here in the schoolhouse, and people coming. They need to
very good vegetarian food.
Well, if you are, you know it. Good.
But hey, it's now the time to go our last point of our interview, and that is your new book, Practical Consciousness. And for audience, how they can order this? Is it from Amazon or from your organization?
You know, we decide about book to put it to the Amazon. It can be one place from everyone can order it. But sometimes people don't like to order it. They like to buy it. Even it's become twice more expensive, because you order it and then you receive it, then you put it to our shop here. I don't know, but they buy from this place. But from Amazon, it's very simple. You can give order, a print on demand in any kind of Amazon. And but we have e-book today, print on demand, and I hope at the end of this month or in the middle of second audiobook coming out.
Yes. So this has been even a bestseller in Amazon.com. Wow.
In some kind of categories.
Okay. We have been talking quite much about consciousness in last interview, but when we talking about this book, what you can tell about it?
This book replacing a book in Estonian. Estonian book, Emotions, Biggest Addiction of Humankind, that's translated title, was bestseller in Estonia, quite long time.
How many years ago?
Couple of maybe 3, 4, something like that. But it's still somewhere.
Okay.
You can find some of them, but not so much. And I wasn't very happy about that book, because it was done by course. It was like stenogram of book, some person just typing down what they said in the course, but it was long time ago. Today those courses is like brilliant by content if you compare those times, and it quite difficult to read was that book. And then I asked translate that Estonian book to the English, and I have one good friend in America who was agreed to work with that material to condense it. Yeah, and that's that result actually.
Freeing yourself from emotional addiction to live more joyful life. This is that subtitle here. And so, what kind of techniques you are teaching here?
This book is concentrated to the emotions. Everything what we're doing in our life, everything why we have sufferings, why we have problems with health, why we are stupid sometimes, we are not smart cookies. All those things, why we're struggling or going to the drink, right? Or fighting, for example. All those examples are connected to the emotions, all emotions. And how you can become free from emotional addictions written on this book. There is 14 different techniques. Techniques means you just do it and it works for you. You become free from some disturbing emotions. I know Finnish people are quite less emotional, but sometimes I see if they become drunk a little bit, they become very emotional. It means the emotions are suppressed. Yeah, but suppressed emotions making huge tensions inside and influencing to the physical health, relations, and other. It would be good to become free from them, right? And what is very valuable in this book is technique how you can find true self.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's maybe I say in this way. In Siddha tradition, we say we have only 2 tasks in life, only 2. Because a lot of people are curious, what I need to do here, what is my life task here, and etc. They say first task, you need to find who you are. Then your real personality appears, real personality. Because today people don't have this real personality. They have personality which are created by the mind or thinking process which are supported by emotions. Second part, or second task, is to learn what is life, what are those things here, to understand. It's quite simple, you know, that suggesting behind, because if you start to understand what really happens, you become smart, right? It means you can create your life by smart way, in any kind of level, even a spiritual level. Yeah, and that knowledge which will become received by life itself, it's jnana or jnana. It's knowledge in Sanskrit. Jnana yoga or yoga of knowledge is highest teaching, because and that part makes us, of course, Homo sapiens.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, and one thing is there more. It's one technique how you can become silent, or how you can stop your thinking process to not to take rest from thoughts and fall to sleep at night, but how to find consciousness. Everything's there.
Find the consciousness and you will find the peace and calm.
Sure, 100%.
Well, I have to say that thank you for this interview. It has been very good, nice pleasure for me, and hope to everything good for your book. And people, you can find it from the Amazon.com and Ingvar Villido, Practical Consciousness. So, thank you, Ingvar. Thank you, Lilleoru.
Thank you very much for coming and asking those questions. Thank you.
Thank you.